Push this point in, push that point forward. Just a little bit of sculpting. Remember to always refer to your reference, either the image planes or the maquette if you have it. Now let's grab these two faces on the glutes, side of the glutes, spin that. One more time. There we go. Now delete that edge, and that lines up a little better. Push this point down. Okay, now let's go to the back part of the leg, upper leg, your hamstrings. Select all these faces right here. Extrude those out. That's going to become your semimembranosus and semitendinosus muscles. And grab the edges right along inside and push them in. Okay. Now pull the edges outward a little. And just manipulate the geometry a little bit real quick. Line things up a little better. I'm going to zoom in here to that area where I just extruded the top part out and select these two faces and spin them backwards. Okay, now grab along the inside of the leg, the edges, and push them back and space them out more evenly. Same down there, that point. Alright, that's looking a little better. Maybe bring them in a little right there. Push these point out. Okay, let's go back down after this right here to the lower part of the leg here. That looks good. And round out the forms a little down here. Select these two faces, spin them inward and forward, because the muscle mass kind of comes down straight and alongside the leg of semimembranosus and semitendinosus. Okay, round out that form, move around the points. I know I make the point tweaking look easy, but it takes a lot of time. This took a lot of time to do. It just doesn't look like it. Alright, I'm going to push all these points in. Okay, grab these points, pull them in. Alright. The next muscle mass we're going to extrude out is going to be parallel to the semimembranosus and semitendinosus, and that's biceps femoris. Runs along the outside side of the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And extrude that out. We're going to do the same thing we did with the inside side to this. Grab the edges right along the side of it and pull those in. It'll help us round out the forms there. Grab the points here, pull them in. Alright, pull that edge down. Just tweaking some of the points as we go. Always got to tweak points as you go. If you don't, you're going to end up with a mess of geometry you can't fix. Spin these faces at the bottom the same way we did the other side. Make sure the geometry is nice and well rounded. Push that in. Grab these points, space them out a little bit. Alright. That looks a little pushed out too far. Let's go to the upper part of the leg real quick. That needs to be spun back into the mesh. At the top part of the leg where we extruded, after we get rid of these points here, push those in. Hold on 1 second. There, okay. Select these two faces right at the top here and spin them. Hold on. Oops, some more stuff selected. Okay, spin them inward, forward. That blends the biceps femoris back into the glutes as we want them to. But eventually we want the glutes to come up over top of that. We'll fix that later. Okay. Now grabbing some of these points, move them around, shape it a little better at the bottom side here. Now let's zoom in on the glutes here and focus on those. Push these points around a little bit. Just getting the shape I want before I start spinning faces and adding geometry. I think these two faces need to be spun right at the base of the gluteus maximus. And push that around, and we need to spin these two little bottom faces. Okay, that gives us a better blend back into the leg with the glutes. Space stuff around a little more, and I'm going to spin these two, and now I'm going to extrude them inward. That's going to be where the great trochanter is on your leg. Pull that out just a little bit. Push the geometry around. Okay, bring up these points right here. Next we're going to focus on extruding out gluteus medius. Right there. Pull that out. Scale it together. Push the geometry up. And, alright, round out the form a little more. Next we're going to extrude out the top part of gluteus maximus. Be 1, 2, 3 faces right here. Extrude that out. And scale it in. Okay, grab the edges, round out the shapes a little. Okay. After this, we're going to extrude out the bottom part of gluteus maximus, which will also have the iliotibial tract extruding at the same time. But before we do that, I want to line up the geometry so the iliotibial tract just flows back into the bottom part of gluteus maximus. So spin those two faces. Move this around. For now, that'll be good. The flow is coming right down the side there, you see. And spin those two. Maybe not. How about those two? Okay. And spin the one beneath it. I'm just following basically the shape and form on the actual maquette. You can look at the reference images. And also the ones parallel and diagonally beneath it. There we go. Now just move around those points, line them up together. And now we can extrude the gluteus maximus, bottom part of it, and the iliotibial tract. Select all these faces, all the way down to around the knee area. Let me pull this up. Those three underneath it also. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Can't get that last one. Come on. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath. So we've got all our geometry selected. Let's extrude that. Pull it out just a little bit. Deselect all the ones in the iliotibial tract along the side of the leg. And pull out the ones on the gluteus maximus lower part. And scale those together. Okay. And now just round out the forms by grabbing points and shaping it. Right. It looks like a mess of geometry, but it'll look good when we're done. Spin that right there alongside of the tensor fascia lata. I'm going to want to spin the two faces on the outside side of the outside and back side of the iliotibial tract. I don't like things coming to a point along an extrude. So why don't we do that after we move around some of these points. Okay, zoom in there and just fix the flow right here. Spin those. Delete that extra edge in between. Whoops. Yeah, much better. Let's move around these points, round out the shape of the bottom of the glutes. And now let's fix that. Grab these two faces, spin them, push around the points, lining them up more evenly. Do the same thing to the one diagonally beneath it. Spin it, move around the points, and I think there's two more left diagonally beneath it, right there. All right. There we go. Got that part done. And we still need to do the spinning the faces down at the bottom of the leg. Let's fix that next. Okay, spin those two faces and delete the extra edges there that are there. Okay, and the one right in front of it and a little lower. Those two. Zoom in, spin those, and delete the extra edges they share. Okay, just move around the points a little, and we've got the upper leg done there. Take a look here. Let me zoom in here to the sacrum. I want to spin these two faces inward. All right. Okay, move around some points, shape this a little better to match the reference in the maquette. All right, there we have the upper leg.